How y'all doing? Y'all feeling good? Say yeah. Do black women run the world? Say yeah. Okay, well, I'm going to introduce two queens right now as a part of this Nourishment for the Soul panel. And first up, we have Sylvia Williams, co-founder of Soul Grain. Sylvia, make some noise, y'all. Come on, thank you. You can sit right there. I'm going to sit in the middle. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Robbie Steele from Ceto Exo Magic. How are you? Welcome. This is yours. I'm taking the middle seat so I can look right and left. Y'all feeling good? How y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Well, I love the title of this panel. It's Nourishment for the Soul. And I'm going to start with you, Sylvia, because you have an awesome granola mango coconut based thing I was about to try, but I didn't want it in my teeth when I came out here. And you are clearly on the right side of history with putting good things in your body.
Yes.
Can you speak about your business, how important that is?
So I am a pastry chef and my partner is a nutritionist, and we wanted to make something that was convenient, that you could carry, but was nutritious. So you're not picking up a bag of chips or a bag of cookies. So we decided to make granola, but we wanted to make it a little more exciting and put a little bit of our flavor on it. So for the flavors, we use iconic soul food recipes and some flavors that we grew up enjoying that are based on our cultural backgrounds. So, banana pudding is one and
Hello?
potato casserole is another.
Hello?
We have several flavors and because we recognize that food, culture, and music go together, our granola includes all of that.
That's awesome. And Robbie, can you please say the name of your company correctly if I didn't say it correctly? I think I did.
It's Sodexo Magic.
Sodexo Magic. Make some noise, y'all. Black woman gonna get you together now. Can you tell us about your company?
Absolutely. Sodexo Magic is a joint venture between Magic Johnson Enterprises and Sodexo. And, the super exciting thing about this company, we are celebrating our 20th anniversary this year. And the company was founded on the principle of community and ensuring that we elevate all of those who are underserved. And so Magic Johnson chose to partner with a global company focused on quality of life services, but in a way that would help him generate more support in all of our communities around food for K through 12 and for universities, serving our hospitals and corporations that have a commitment to our communities. And so we've had a really fulfilling 20 years. We're now a $1 billion company.
Okay, billion with a B. Make some noise for that. I'm inspired. But Sylvia, I have a question for you. Growing up, was McDonald's, like it was the fast food, the fast casual. What comes to mind first for you when you think about, what you saw growing up? Was your experience different? And is that the reason you chose this type of food to sell?
Yes, actually, when I think of food, I think of my best friend's grandmother who used to cook for the Kennedys. And
For the Kennedys?
the Kennedys.
Oh, hello.
So she could cook, okay? So I grew up eating really, really good food and having celebrations around food. So when I think of food, I think of being at her house with the grown-ups upstairs, the kids downstairs, doing our thing. So it was a whole experience with food for me that includes really good memories and celebrations and always music.
I love that. And for you, Ravi, I think that, institutions often misunderstand the role that food plays in our lives. Again, I like, and I'm not talking about nobody's company, but I go to Starbucks for that quick, impossible sandwich. But I know it ain't good for me. It's just something I need to quick get and go. So how do you feel about those institutions that make that kind of food? Not Starbucks in particular, but.
I think because institutions have to be so concerned about so many different things as it relates to making sure that they are financially stable, that they provide resources for students that really drive the whole student's success, they think oftentimes about cost and, ensuring that operationally that things are going to be safe. And they don't necessarily understand that food is incorporated into every aspect of that, because a huge issue around food insecurity exists today on college campuses, and people don't understand that. They don't know the number of students that have the need for proper nutrition. And I think one of the ways that institutions could start to solve for their challenges in a way that are centered around community, because that's the core of food. Food in our culture has always been about community. It's about how you feel, it's how you connect with people, it's healing. We use it for celebrations. We use it for times when we've lost loved ones to bring us together and find joy. So if the universities and institutions would start to center the community in their conversation and build programs around the importance of those specific needs, there would be less need to focus on the financial elements, because all the solved solutions would be met. And then naturally they would fall in line and be able to address that in a way that addresses health equity, that addresses student population needs, hunger. It would address all of the emotional stages that students experience in a way that really builds from that community experience.
Yeah, I wish somebody would have told me that, because I have no back teeth. I was eating Jumbos, Tootsie Rolls, child. I wish I had me some granola. Sylvia, but I have a question for you, love. Looking forward, what does it look like to scale care? Because I feel like, food needs to come with a certain level of care, not just for our bodies, but, for our mindsets, energy-wise, productivity-wise throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, food is so important, and eating the correct food is so important in terms of your nutrition. So you want to eat something that is good for you, good for your mind, body, and soul. So in terms of scaling, when you're scaling your company, or when we're scaling our company, it's been really important to be intentional and with our partners. We tried to use someone else to help us scale our company, and it was a problem because the love wasn't in it in the way that we put the love in it. So is that what you mean?
Yeah, for sure. Because there's myths, right? There's myths that healthy eating means abandoning soul food. And there's no way I could actually just abandon soul food. I think it's the way it's made, though, too, can...
True, right, which is why we took the flavors that people were used to eating and applied them to something healthy. As I was saying in the back, I used to make a house cake every week, and my husband was like, "You got to cut with the house cakes because I can't eat this."
Was it red velvet?
I made all of them.
Jesus.
So I applied it to the granola so he can have the same flavors, but eat them in a healthier manner.
Got it. And Robbie, it's another myth that food access is only about availability. How do you feel about that? Because I know it ain't a Whole Foods right here off Joseph P. Lowry. And I don't know what is around here. Y'all might know better than me, but I don't know if you can get organic everything like you can around, my way in East Cobb.
I tell people that's a very, very specialized question, because if you think about communities, some communities may not have a Whole Foods, or they may not have a farmer's market, or they may not have a independent grocer. And I think it's important that we focus on understanding what are the limitations in certain communities and ensure that we build on those specific needs. And by doing that, we can do things like bring in temporary food trucks that can bring in all of the respective cultural foods, meeting health requirements, but costs are also a part of that. And some of that work can be done with local partners, ensuring that you help those local businesses get access to companies like ours so that they can sell their goods and services and produce revenue in the communities where they live and operate, and they can serve those communities where they live and operate. And there's some really good examples of that work being done in Atlanta Atlanta with some local partners, and they have really, I mean, Gooder's one. They have multiple ways that they reach the community and help feed those in need. Some are, at no cost. Some are very low cost. Some are in partnerships with other partners like the mayor and hospitals. And then some are in full-blown pop-up events where we plan those and bring them to campuses to feed people. So there's lots of ways to consider it, bringing in the right quality of foods in communities that are in need.
Did you give up anything for Lent?
Did I what?
Give up anything for Lent? Lent? Anything?
Yes.
What did you give up?
Yeah, Lent. Oh, yes. I gave up alcohol for Lent.
Child?
I spent 4 days at Mardi Gras, so I thought that would be
you
the
drunk still.
appropriate
You drunk
way
right
to
now.
end Mardi Gras was to, rest for a while.
Did you give up anything for Lent?
I did not.
You didn't?
No.
Well, I'm giving up processed foods.
Pasta.
And I want to talk to you about that because I think the healthy alternative is more necessary than ever. I've never seen so many of them. I'm 53 years old. I know I don't look like it all the time. Okay, great. But I blame, this processed food on my peers getting cancer, having heart attacks, and having strokes
Absolutely.
at 50.
Right.
Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, there's so much junk in the food right now. Let's just take granola, for example. There's so much processed sugar, seed oils, just unhealthy ingredients in granola. And the perception is that granola is healthy, but there's so much of it on the market that is not. So, and that applies to all the foods like the pastas, with enriched flour. There's so many hidden ingredients that you don't know about. So it was really important for us to make something that had every single ingredient in our granola has a purpose and has a health benefit. And that was essential for us to do, so that when you eat something like our granola, you know that you're doing good for your body. So when you go and you're shopping in the grocery store, be sure to read the ingredients. And you want to be able to know what the ingredients are, because there's so many ingredients that you have no idea what they are, and they are damaging to your body.
And I
It's still
agree.
important.
I agree. But every time I feel like I'm doing the healthy thing, then something else comes about, Perlixian X5, 6 coloring, whatever. Can you speak to that before? We only have a few more minutes, but I just feel like there's always something new we're supposed to do when it comes to food. The one thing I do all the time that's helped me the best is Bragg's vinegar, this much, in a cup about this big, with some lemon and some honey every night. And when I tell you, I go to the bathroom when I wake up. But I wanted you to say rather, like, what do we do with that? Like, we're getting so much information all the time that we think something's good for us. To her point about granola, I go get a Nature's Valley granola bar. I thought that was good for me.
Garbage.
Garbage. How do you feel about it?
Well, the good news is that working in the capacity of what we're doing, it lends itself to why Magic decided to partner with a company of the caliber of Sodexo. We have a daily report that comes out with any recalled items, and there is a process where everybody is notified those products are pulled and not served. They use FDA-approved products. When we work with small local businesses, we support them with getting third-party certifications to ensure that their products are healthy, so that we are incorporating those into the market. We also help the small businesses with other types of certifications to ensure that their exposure is minimal from a legal standpoint, and they're serving safe food, and working with them to help them make sure they have the resources necessary to be able to provide those foods safely. We do about 40% of our business with local businesses and small businesses across the country. So think about that. We're putting over $300 million back into local economies, driving jobs, ownership, and oftentimes those products need that support to ensure that they're safe. So we do a combination, as I've described, to ensure that the products that we put out are safe. But we just have to stay on top of it, because we understand that the FDA has guidelines and we have to follow those, But we also understand we live in a world where people have an opportunity to make choices for themselves. So we want to support that by following all the best regulations.
Ravi, thank you very much. Sylvia, thank you very much. This has been the Nourishment of the Soul panel, and I appreciate you. I truly believe Black women will save the planet. If you agree, say amen. Thank you very much, guys. Peace.
Thank you.
Great job.